Welcome back to the Real Estate 401k Show. I'm your host, Mike Weinstein, alongside Justin Frederick and Ryan Gerdes. You're going to want to text the word SPRING to 623-AZ RECON. That's SPRING to 623-AZ RECON. Just remember that. It is that time of year. I'm telling you, the Phoenix metropolitan area is such an amazing place this time of year. First of all, during November and December, we're golfing, right? We get the Waste Management Open. We get the Barrett-Jackson car auction. We get all kinds of things.
We've had a Super Bowl or two.
We do, for the time being, have a Major League Baseball team. We have a minor football team. I wouldn't call the Cardinals a major national football league. They are what they are. I support them every year. So, but man, this town goes nuts during spring training. It used to be Florida. And Florida still got a great presence, but the Cactus League out here is just amazing. And the amount of people that come to the Phoenix metropolitan area for spring training is just out. It's just through the roof. It's incredible.
It caught wildfire because, it was the early 2000s, late 90s. The Mariners came out here over in the Glendale area,
late 90s,
late 90s, and then all of a sudden, everyone started building and moving their teams out here, and it's been fantastic for the community, but it's been amazing for the real estate industry as well. There's been, we have a lot of different athletes that have decided to keep homes here, whether they play for the Diamondbacks or not. A lot of their staff ends up keeping homes out here, and then a lot of the locals they'll buy investment properties just like us, and we'll rent them out to players, to pitching coaches. I think we have a pitching coach in one of ours right now. And
think he'll give us a lesson or two.
I can't hit the broadside of a bar. Now, I played good ball when I was a kid, but I could always catch, and I could always hit, and I'm left-handed, so I was always the first baseman. But if you asked me to throw someone out, good luck. I could throw it hard, but
don't know where it's going.
I couldn't tell you where it's going.
Oh yeah. I have to think we ought to do that. We ought to just get some mitts and some baseballs, and then when we want to just brainstorm, let's go out in the parking lot and just chuck the ball around.
I'll put you guys, make sure that there's a wall against your back, because you're gonna be like, Ryan, what the hell was that?
Right. So we don't have to chase it down.
Yeah. Or I'll stand, right in front of Nick Wiedekamp's car.
Yeah. Definitely not his bike.
Yeah.
You couldn't hit that micro machine if you tried.
All right. So as far as spring training goes, where are the opportunities for investors? I know a lot of people come out here. A lot of wealthy people come out here. A lot of people come out here who don't consider themselves wealthy nor a candidate to even think about investing, which is not necessarily true. It's just a matter of who you talk to and what strategies you implement. But what are the opportunities for people, and what's the real estate market like during spring training?
I would say that the most untapped market for spring training in the greater Maricopa County area is between Goodyear and Litchfield, because they have the Camelback Ranch, and then and I think the Dodgers play there, and then the Reds play over in Goodyear. And there's just not a lot of people that have saturated that market for investment properties yet. There's some, but I think that especially if you're wanting like a new build, because as an investor, having new builds is totally invaluable. It's not having to fix this and do that. Whereas like if you get something over in Scottsdale, which is number one, is saturated.
Yeah.
Number two, over there by the Cubs Stadium, all those homes are older. Unless you built a brand new custom one, which not many people are wanting to buy a $5 million home to do an Airbnb on. So I would say that the biggest opportunity would be out there in the Southwest Valley.
Did you know I actually got to throw out the honorary first pitch at a Red spring training game?
Oh, that's
no
cool.
way.
Yep.
Huh.
And it was a strike. I'll have you know. I was maybe 20 feet from the
I was
catcher,
about to
but
say,
it didn't really matter.
Were you on the actual mound?
Yeah, and so my wife, she was in charge. I think I have video footage of it, but my wife just did not do a great job of the videography of it, and you can barely see it. And she tried to follow the ball, like you're using your phone. Like this is not a high intense camera,
Yeah.
right? You know that.
Did you wind up and everything, or did you just go over there and play catch with them?
Oh, of course I wound up.
Yeah,
I'm a pitcher.
Did you do a high kick?
I had my cleats and my jock strap on. I'm just kidding.
I'd have laughed if you'd have shook off his call, dude.
Nope. Oh my god. All right. If you want to learn more about the real estate investing market as a whole, or you're here for spring training, or I would dare say, even a player like these young players, they're making some money, but they're not at that 15, 20, 25 million dollars a year mark, and they're working through the different divisions and single A, double A, and triple A, and know that real estate is an important portfolio, an important part of my plan, my future plans. I'm telling you, we talk to a lot of athletes, like we know this stuff. That's who I want to talk to. I'm a rookie. I'm making some money, or I'm down here rehabbing. Because that's the other thing about these spring training facilities. They're year round because the weather is year round. So there's a lot of rehab work that goes on.
Mm-hmm. And we've found that this community has been pretty darn savvy about it. They know that the moment that they sign, they have a shelf life, right? I mean, they're going to get used. I mean, as soon as they're not winning or not producing, those contracts go away real quick. And so just going out and blowing all that money, they're not doing that. They're being smart about it, and they're wanting to build something that's going to outlive their MLB career. So it's been a lot of fun, and there is a lot of again. There's just so much opportunity, like you said, year round. Because even when it's hot here, and we don't have a lot of those athletes, we still see a lot of people doing those 6-month leases here. So we do a lot of conversion into like a midterm during those slow months. That when those cooler months come along, I mean, on the real estate side, it's hot. And they can make a ton of money during those 6 months from, basically October all the way through April, early May.
And then to your point, right now, if you go the new build route, your rate's going to be
right.
You can have a pretty reasonable mortgage payment. All right, if you'd like some more information about taking advantage of the spring training market out here in the Phoenix metropolitan area when it comes down to investing in real estate, we'd love to have that conversation with you. All you got to do is text the word spring to 623 AZ RECON. That's spring to 623 AZ RECON. All right, Justin, I don't know whether you have any comments, so I'll let you run with it, but let's talk about the finance piece of it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I get at least.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do it all the time. If I'm a ball player and I get a significant signing bonus, how does that play into using it as a down payment or qualifying or whatever the case is?
So we just have to show history of employment, and we can use college for that. So it plays a role because it's documented funds, and we can use those funds for down payment, closing costs, whatever you'd like, reserves. It works. So it's not something that we're going to overlook whatsoever. Now it's not going to play into income. We're not going to be able to use that bonus as income because you're not going to continue to get that bonus year over year. It's a signing bonus. So it's nice. We can use that as an asset, but not income. But every year I get at least a handful of individuals that are, this has already happened, that are preparing to come out here. They've been out here before. They come out here on a regular basis, and they are prepared to buy a home for spring training. Not only for spring training, but they're looking for investment opportunities out here. And one individual I feel like this is the third year I've done a pre-qualification with them to buy a house. So I mean, this is obviously it's working out well for him. And yeah, I feel like that this is something that if it's working out well for him, it could work out well for you.
Last thing I want to talk about, Ryan, is, okay, so, it's great that you get to a point and go, hey, I realize that I need to get into the real estate game. I might be out here for 6 months. I might be out here for 18 months, or I might even get picked up for the Diamondbacks. But I'm new to this, or I'm just new to investing. Um, just going out and buying a home based on price can get you into real hot water. And I think that's just what we do so well, is go beyond price and able to look at area and look at future demand and how this looks like because eventually every house you buy, you should be having that mindset of this will eventually become an income producing property and a part of my overall real estate portfolio.
So I always think about a really good example that our friend Dave Haddad explained to me a while back, and it had to do with the difference between introductory and luxury. Now, I'm not saying if you're going to invest, you have to do luxury or it's a bad idea. What I am saying is that consider the big market crash that we had in 2008, 2009, right? I mean, we had so many different properties that were vacant. We had businesses that were going under. We had all these things that were just pretty much on a catastrophic level. But the Ritz-Carlton was still at 100% occupancy, right? The Princess, they weren't struggling at all. And why is that? It's because the people with money, they know where it goes whenever things like that happen. Okay, so if you decide that you're wanting to invest just because in a property just because it's such a low price, know that that's probably going to be one of the first casualties should anything happen, and that the higher end stuff is going to be a little bit more stubborn on value. And when things go back up, or when things do go up, the lower end stuff is going to go up marginally. The luxury is going to go up significantly. And so for me, if you have the assets and the income to invest in something a little bit higher end, I would encourage you to do that for that reason.
All right, well, there you go. We would love to help you explore just the overall investing market here in Phoenix, Arizona, when it comes down to investing and really understanding the different events, and whether it's the Waste Management Open or spring training, and what opportunities it brings to investors. We'd love to have that discussion with you. All you got to do is text the word spring to 623 AZ RECON. That's spring to 623 AZ RECON.